Hello, future Spartans and families. I am so glad you could join us for our virtual open house this evening. My name is Dr. Jim Coleman, and I'm the Provost and Executive Vice Chancellor here at UNC Greensboro. And that means I'm the Senior Academic Administrator overseeing all of our academic programs and instruction. And that's a big job considering we offer more than 125 undergraduate programs alone. No matter what you choose to study, my job is to make sure your educational experience at UNCG is second to none. We do that first by ensuring teaching excellence. I just joined UNCG in July, and I worked in several well-known universities before I came here. And I have been blown away with just how much our faculty really care about the success of UNCG students. And they're also very passionate about teaching, so you can count on getting direct instruction from the very best teachers around. Our faculty are also regularly recognized as leading scholars and artists in their fields. They make breakthroughs in many disciplines, ranging from biochemistry to history, or they receive accolades from audiences and readers in disciplines like theater, music, and creative writing. Our faculty are impressive, and you will get to know them. For example, as a UNCG student, you will have the opportunity to learn about biology from a NASA-funded scientist who has experiments out in space, or study musical theater under a successful Broadway composer. UNCG also excels beyond the classroom. Now, there's a network of faculty and staff here who will support your ambitions and will help you find your calling. After all, this is college, and there's no better time to try something new. So whether you decide to work in a neuroscience lab or spend a semester studying Spanish culture in Peru, or to do both, the truth is at UNCG is that you can do it. Learning here extends far beyond the classroom walls, and we are all here rooting for you and supporting you to chase your dreams. And finally, UNCG is a place where there's a fantastic support system for you if you just need a little extra help. And everyone, including me, needs some help sometimes. So whether it's tutoring or note-taking workshops or coaching for your speaking, helping students succeed in school and beyond is what we do here. And I am so proud of our legacy of providing a supportive and caring environment for every one of our students. And at the end of the day, no matter what you choose to study, you, the student, truly matter here at UNC Greensboro. After all, what's a university without its students? We wouldn't be here. So it is my great honor to serve you as provost by providing a meaningful and life-changing education. And I really can't wait to see where your college journey takes you. And I really hope you'll find a home here at UNCG.
Good evening, future Spartans, and welcome to our fall virtual open house. We are so delighted to have you with us today. My name is Lauren Scott, and I'm an admissions counselor here at UNC Greensboro. I'm very excited to host you today. Along with me, I have a panel of experts representing the School of Health and Human Sciences. I'm going to go ahead and let them introduce themselves, and I'm going to introduce them by how they appear on my screen. So we'll go ahead and start with Jennifer. Can you go ahead and get us started?
Yeah, hey everybody, I'm Jennifer Clark, a representative for our Health and Human Sciences Advising Center, and we're excited to be able to share the great news of HHS with you. So thanks for your time.
Thanks, Jennifer. Shauna?
Hi, my name is Shauna McGibbon. I'm a senior here at the University of North Carolina at Greensboro, and my major is Human Development and Family Studies. So I'm here to talk to you about that department and what it's like to be a student here with that major.
Great, thanks, Shauna. Dr. Terranova?
I'm Dr. Aaron Terranova. I'm Director of Undergrad Studies for Kinesiology, and I am the Clinical Coordinator for our Masters of Science in Athletic Training program.
Cool, thanks. Dr. Rinker?
Hi, my name is Jeremy Rinker. I'm an assistant professor in Peace and Conflict Studies and the director of undergraduate studies in the department. So I'm here to talk about peace and conflict studies.
Awesome. Daniel?
My name is Daniel Rose. I'm the director of the undergraduate social work program here at UNC Greensboro, and I'm here to talk to you all about social work.
Savannah?
Hi, I'm Savannah Henry. I am a senior. I am majoring in nutrition, and so I'll be talking to you all about that.
Jessica?
Hi, I'm Jessica. I am a graduate clinician with the Communication Sciences Disorders Department. So I'm on track to become an SLP, and I'm also a graduate of the undergraduate CSD program here at Uncg.
Awesome. Cindy?
Hi everyone, my name is Cindy Hill. I am a first year graduate student with Community and Therapeutic Recreation Department. I just finished my bachelor's this past August, and so I am here to talk to you about the two concentrations that fall underneath the Community and Therapeutic Rec Department. So thanks.
And last but not least, Jacqueline.
Hi everyone, my name is Jacqueline and I'm a senior majoring in public health education with a concentration in community health education, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit more about that.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for everyone on the panel for being with us today and letting the audience know that they'll see a texting number at the bottom of our screen. It's going to pop up soon. So if you have any questions throughout the live stream, you can use that number to ask us questions about the School of Health and Human Sciences. But I'm going to pass it over to Jennifer, who's going to give us a short presentation of an overview of the Health and Human Sciences.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So I will try to be short, but representing a lot of folks here, I am certainly not an expert. We all are. I do, however, want to first start off and really just kind of use this as a foundation for the information that will be shared here to highlight our school website, because there's a lot that is available and viewable as you take time and really explore the different options. So just to bring it to your attention, for Health and Human Sciences, it's hhs.uncg.edu. And within our School of Health and Human Sciences at UNCG, just to let you know, UNCG is broken up into a lot of different units, and HHS is the second largest unit at UNCG. We have roughly, I think it's 3,400 undergraduate students, I think another 300 or 400 graduate students. Folks can correct me here, but we have a host of diverse programs, and we're really excited to learn any questions or inquiries that you've had throughout this presentation, but also to highlight who we're representing. So if you look at the department website, or the school website, excuse me, and you click on the department tab, here you can see a list of all of the departments that we have. So I really just want to real briefly go through these, or at least for those that award and offer undergraduate degrees, though they all offer graduate degrees. So we have the Department of Communication Sciences and Disorders, which offers the undergraduate Bachelor of Science degree in speech pathology and audiology, and many students are interested in this program for a host of different reasons, but often are seeking the profession of becoming a speech pathologist or audiologist. So we also have a phenomenal graduate program, as a graduate program is needed for that type of profession. Students do have to apply for admittance into this program. So it's exciting for many students who are coming in as new transfer students, as well as the many students who are coming in as freshmen. There are lots of courses that students are taking in their freshman year that are needed for the speech path program, as well as complementary to the courses that they're also taking for general education purposes. So I want to kind of put this out there for all of the programs that we have in the School of Health and Human Sciences. We like for students, especially freshmen who are coming new to UNCG and new to HHS, to know that from the very beginning, you're able to take courses that not only complement your major, but are needed for your major, as well as experimenting with different course options that you have to satisfy general education requirements. We also have the Community and Therapeutic Recreation Department, and you can dig a little bit deeper and take some time to explore the many department websites accessible through the school website here. Community and Therapeutic Recreation has two different majors. Therapeutic Recreation is quite popular for students who might also want to experience or prepare themselves for a career as an occupational therapist, as it accounts for it can account for all of the occupational therapy course prerequisites. And the other major in this department is community recreation and event planning. So again, lots of students come in and they are immediately able to begin taking the recreation and event planning or therapeutic recreation courses while also taking courses for general education purposes. Genetics counseling is a program in the School of HHS that only awards graduate degrees, master's degrees. So I don't want to focus on that right now, but you're welcome to explore that as you continue to explore Uncg and HHS. The Department of Human Development and Family Studies has 3 majors at the undergraduate level, and those are Child, Youth, and Family Development, Birth through Kindergarten with teacher licensure, and Early Care and Education. And so this department really focuses on a host of different areas. For many students coming to these majors, they might be interested in teaching kindergartners in a public or private setting. They might be interested in working in a child care center or in programs like Smart Start or Head Start, serving children, toddlers, preschoolers, those with special needs. Lots of diverse curriculums are built into that. And they might just want to learn more about the development stages from birth to death, which is really what child, youth, and family development is about. And there are a host of different opportunities for internship locations. Most of our programs have internships built within the curriculum or have the option for students who want to have an internship or a practicum experience also built in. So lots of students come to Human Development and Family Studies who have interest perhaps in working with younger populations or older populations or youth or parents, marriage and family therapy. There's lots of different long-term goals that can come out of that. The next department that we have is kinesiology. And at the undergraduate level, they have 2 majors. And kinesiology is one of the majors, so same name as the department. And then the other major is physical education, health teacher education. And kinesiology as a whole was really popular for students that have an interest in athletic training, physical therapy. Many students who come into the kinesiology department want to aspire to become physical therapists. And just over half of the PT or physical therapy course prerequisites are built into or can be built into the kinesiology curriculum. So we've got lots of opportunities to engage in a host of science labs and programs that can complement those career paths. Again, there is the physical education, health teacher education program. So that's connected with the Teachers Academy and our licensure program. So many students might be specific in their intentions and wanting to learn more about how to become health educators and PE teachers, if you will, within the elementary, middle, and high school setting. So sorry, I'm kind of fumbling through my words here. Our next department is nutrition. Nutrition has 3 majors at the undergraduate level, and those are nutrition and dietetics, nutrition and wellness, and nutrition science. And so oftentimes students come into the nutrition department who might want to explore learning more about the food pyramid as a general interest. But if you think about nutrition, it's really science oriented. So probably the most popular major, or populated major, I should say, in that department is nutrition and dietetics. Many students come to nutrition who want to pursue the career path of becoming a registered dietitian. But many students might also want to work in a research setting and do lab work and look at opportunities where they can engage in studying health and well-being and disease as it relates back to nutrition. Maybe they have interest in pursuing long-term professions of becoming a physician assistant or a medical school or vet school or dental school. So nutrition science is a popular curriculum in the nutrition department because it accounts for some of those PA or med school or vet school or dental school upper level science course prerequisites. So there's lots of opportunities there with the nutrition. We also have the Peace and Conflict Studies department, which offers both an online degree in Peace and Conflict Studies and one that's on campus. So many students really want to explore the opportunities to enhance relationships, to look at ways to approach conflict in a healthy manner, and really just engage in opportunities to I don't know if maybe bridging gaps is the right term, but there's just lots of opportunities to look at relationships and how our country and how our states and how things can be impacted by our interactions with others. Through all of our majors, there are opportunities to study abroad. So I also want to put a plug in there. And we've got a great panel here who are really the experts in the departments that I'm very briefly highlighting here. So I encourage that you put your questions out there and really take time to pick their brains. With the next department, Public Health Education, there are two majors at the undergraduate level. There is Health Studies, which is an online degree, and that particular online degree is restricted to students that have a formal associate in arts or an associate in science degree already earned. So it's very popular for many students who are coming in as new transfer students to want to pursue those upper level courses within the public health department. And the other major within that department is community health education. Lots of students come to public health education who want to learn more about how to become a health advocate, maybe look at healthcare administration as a long-term goal. Maybe they want to work with a Center for Disease. Maybe they want to work in a hospital setting or in a government setting or a school setting to really implement and do research to enhance and improve and educate people around how to be healthy and how to impact your health and what we do in our day-to-day lives. And then we have social work, and social work by itself is very service-oriented. Oftentimes I've heard people say, you know, the worse things go in the world, the greater there is a need for social workers. So social work is growing in popularity at UNCG. Many students are coming into this program because they want to be a voice for many populations or an advocate or a mentor. Lots of opportunities to take courses around social policy and really look at diversity and to put in a plug for UNCG. HHS, I believe, has the highest number of diverseness, if you will, just looking at ethnicity at UNCG. All of our programs are diverse, all of our populations are diverse, and they're all very much both freshman friendly and transfer friendly. So we have lots of programs where students who have already earned an associate's degree, maybe some of you are finishing out your associate's degree while you're working on completing your high school diploma. And maybe you want to look at some of the programs within the School of Health and Human Sciences at UNCG. There may be opportunities where you might need to apply to be formally admitted into some of our programs or have already demonstrated a strong transfer GPA in your current coursework for those that are currently exploring and or taking courses elsewhere. So we do have a lot of diverse programs. We do have lots of sciences built in. We've got lots of great research opportunities. So I also want to put a plug out for that. Our faculty, our panel folks here, students and faculty members will tell you, you know, if you want to study abroad, if you want to do research, all you have to do is ask. So we encourage that students, when they come to UNCG, while they're exploring UNCG, even before they come, to take advantage of the website that we have here, to really check out the people, not just those in the administrative positions, but the faculty in the departments. If you check out the department websites, you can get a sense of what their research areas of interest are, what their areas of expertise are, and maybe you can apply to do some research with them and help collect data and write articles or publish things with them. So there's lots of opportunity for growth and teamwork. And at HHS, we're a huge team and we're all working together. I think lastly, I just want to kind of touch on scholarships. In the School of HHS, so we'll stop sharing this screen. We do have scholarships that are advertised currently only to students that are enrolled at UNCG. So we like to reward students, if you will. We have lots of donors, lots of community members that support our schools, to support our mission, that support the impact that we have, not only in UNCG's outreach, but beyond. So we've got lots of global partners, lots of national partners, et cetera. And we like to make connections. We like to work together, and we like to expose our students to those opportunities as well. And some of our scholarships support students traveling abroad or going to formal professional organizations and showcasing publications or work that they have done. Nonetheless, every year we have an opportunity to advertise scholarships that are available for students to apply for. So we take pride in the support that our donors communicate in those funds and how we can best support the students that are in HHS and how we can showcase and support you as prospective students in your future and current goals. So I want to maybe stop there and see if there are any questions or how we can all support you in this time together.
Thanks so much, Jennifer, for that information. I was actually exploring the website today, and I think it's super resourceful, has tons of great information. So I hope our future Spartans are utilizing that website and are exploring it as well, because you can get a lot of good information from the website, and then you can find contact information to all of the amazing people we have on the panel today. We did get a few texts coming in while Jennifer was presenting, so I'm going to go ahead and get us started with questions that are coming in. The first one is for Dr. Terranova. And the student is asking about the competitiveness of the kinesiology program, and then can you speak to the rigor of the program and any pre-kinesiology admissions that they need to get accepted into the program?
Sure, and thank you for the question. It's going to be, I'm going to have to give a pretty roundabout answer because right now we do have a pre-kinesiology in the catalog and on the books, but we are removing that pre-kinesiology heading into next year. So by the time this current student enrolls, we probably will have the pre-kinesiology eliminated. So you actually just come in as a kinesiology student. And I'm trying not to confuse you too much, but regardless, we have a non-competitive admission process. As long as you take the necessary courses and you have at least a 2.5 GPA, you are eligible to take the upper level courses. So it's non-competitive, as in we only take 50 students in, et cetera. So every student who meets those criteria for prerequisites and grades are eligible to continue to matriculate through the program. So it's what we consider non-competitive. And can you remind me, I'm sorry, what the second half of the question was?
It was just speaking to the rigor, but you also answered the question of any prerequisites that they need to complete before getting into the program.
So I'll be very open and very honest. Kinesiology, like most and all of our health sciences, we are rooted heavily in the sciences. So the rigor comes mainly from that. So you gotta love the biology, the chemistry, the anatomy, the physiology, and then you take all that and you add it to your upper level discipline specific courses, especially in kinesiology, where you get exercise physiology, biomechanics, sports psychology. So the rigor is there because, as Jennifer alluded to, a lot of our students are moving on to professional graduate programs, physical therapy, athletic training, physician assistant, med school, etc. So we try to establish a rigor of this is what the expectation is if you want to be competitive to apply to a graduate program, or let's be honest, even be employable coming right out of your undergrad program. So the rigor is definitely there. There is a little bit of kinesiology is, oh, I get to just work out, and that's not what we do. It's, oh, you can work out, but we're going to explain physiologically what happens when you work out. So it's a great major, but the rigor is definitely there. There's a reason why it's in the School of Health and Human Sciences. The science is very, very important.
Yes, very important. And I appreciated you emphasizing that you're eliminating that pre-kinesiology aspect of that. I know there are a couple of majors in the School of Health and Human Sciences that are for instance, like pre-social work is for Daniel. Can you speak to that, or if that's still staying as a pre-social work major and then they have to apply into the social work program, or can you just emphasize that a little more?
We are also moving away from getting from the pre-designation. You do have to apply to the social work major. It's pretty much like the kinesiology. As long as you have the 2.5 GPA, it's not very competitive, but we do have you go through an application process, and that's more to kind of get you oriented towards the professionalism of the program. You're getting references, you have to fill out a application form, and that's kind of getting you oriented because you're going to be doing a year-long internship, and then when you graduate, most of you will either go on to graduate school or go do employment. And so we're kind of giving you those skills and tools of filling out a resume, applying, getting references, going through interviews and stuff. So there is an application process, but as long as you have the 2.5 GPA, we're pretty much admitting students into the program. And we are moving away from that pre-designation also. So that should hopefully be gone next year.
Awesome. So that kind of goes into my next question. We have a couple of students on the panel with us today. Jessica, Sydney, and Jacqueline are all students, and I was just wondering, what are the resources that you have within your programs that prepare you for your time after UNCG?
I can speak for the CTR department. One of the biggest resources we have is a relatively new faculty member, Miss Joan Sutton, and her primary role with us, other than teaching a whole slew of other classes, is that she helps undergraduate students with their practicum and internship experiences. And we have an entire class, one devoted to the community recreation and event planning concentration, and one that is devoted to our therapeutic rec majors. And that their entire purpose is they look at proper etiquette in interviews, how to dress for an interview. So it does some really basic things, but then she also is the one who is responsible for helping you find those internship sites, and then making sure that all of your paperwork is in order. So like, I'm an older student and came back and I was like, oh, I've got resume writing down, and she helps write resumes, and she tore mine to pieces. So she was really an excellent resource to have. Plus, all of the folks in our department are so well connected with other people in our in recreation and parks management, and in the event planning, and in the therapeutic rec sector, that they're just so well connected, and not just in our state, all over, that the faculty is really a huge resource to us in CTR.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think I always stress that to my students when I'm meeting with them, that their faculty members and the staff within the departments are one of their best resources, if not their best resource, because they have so many connection points and they know of all of the additional resources and can kind of connect you across campus that way. But do Jessica or Jacqueline have any extra things that they want to add on?
Yeah, I'm going to piggyback on what Cindy said. We also have a strong faculty in our public health education department, and we also have an internship planning course that prepares us for landing an internship and even landing a job after we graduate. It's a really useful class and helps us be more marketable and competitive. Also, a lot of the content that we're learning in our classes prepares us for the Certified Health Education Specialist exam that undergraduate students are required to take when they're enrolled in the community health education concentration, which is a very unique perk to being to the program, because a lot of their public health education programs won't make it a requirement. They usually make graduate students take the exam, but I think our program here at UNCG is very intentional about getting us ahead and making us more competitive. We also have the Eta Sigma Gamma Honor Society for Public Health students, and they have been hosting really great workshops on voting and health and wellness. So, and that's open to all of public health education students and Eta Sigma Gamma members. So yeah.
Awesome. Jessica, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I just wanted to add one thing. For the CSD program, you actually do it as a cohort, which ends up being very beneficial because you're with your peers, and you do need all of these courses to apply to graduate school. And they make sure that the faculty make sure you get all your courses, all the knowledge that you need, and they are very supportive, just like everyone else said. But it is nice having that set schedule where you do the same classes with the same people.
Yeah, and along with that, those people are not only there with you in your classroom, but if you have questions outside of classroom, or even it's a great way to make friends. So if you just want to go to dinner, that's a great group to kind of resort back to and have that close connection with. We have a student who is interested in the genetic counseling program. Are there ways like courses, internships that students can pursue this during their undergraduate years?
I just kind of want to take a stab at this, though I'm not representing the genetic counseling program at UNCG. If I could, maybe just to reiterate that ultimately you can get a bachelor's degree in almost anything and still apply for many of the programs in our at the school at the graduate level in HHS, and that includes genetics counseling. Many students might come to genetics counseling with a bachelor's degree in psychology or social work or art or music, You can definitely dig deeper on that hhs.uncg.edu website and read about the required courses, prerequisites that do need to be completed as part of being eligible to apply for the genetics counseling program. Genetics counseling is definitely growing. There's a huge need out there. I almost want to say a bit of a shortage, but the salary is there. It's science oriented. And if students have an interest in learning all about that industry and that discipline, definitely know that UNCG's genetics counseling program is it. And I think it is, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's the only program in the state of North Carolina and one of very few that we have here on the East Coast. So take advantage of that school website, dig a little bit deeper. Don't hesitate to reach out, even if it's just via email, to the people that are listed throughout that website, because they're there not only to showcase the program, but to help connect prospective students to what that program can offer to you.
Awesome. That sounds like a great program here at UNCG. And like you said, make sure that you're reaching out to those people because they are there to help you. Jennifer, this next question's for you as well. You mentioned that there's research opportunities for students in health and human sciences. Can you speak to any of those research projects or maybe give a research project that you're really excited about?
Well, I actually want to turn it over to some of our faculty members who are here, Dr. Rinker and or Dr. Ternova. Others, I think, would probably have even more greater insight into the opportunities where they have worked with students or have other members within their departments who are currently working with students with interest in research. So I'm just going to open the floor, if you don't mind, Dr. Rinker.
Sure. I'll speak a little bit. And I think it's interesting listening to folks. I think when we talk about peace and conflict studies, oftentimes people would think it might be in the College of Arts and Sciences because we are very much a social science, right? Working on issues of conflict and peace, and we have conflict in all settings. So that's from interpersonal to international. We have students who are interested in all of those ways in which you engage with conflict in a positive way. And so, yeah, in terms of the research question specifically, I would say, we have a practicum course as well where we put people out and we're trying to get them to apply theory that they've learned in our courses into nonprofits or mediation centers or lots of similar places that social workers might go, working with refugees. We've had students do research projects through both classes, but also independent studies. So we're really open to the idea of having independent study courses where students can kind of engage in either undergraduate or graduate research. As you asked that question, I was thinking specifically of a program that I run with a graduate student right now, actually, but undergraduates have also been involved in the past. And that's a project in collaboration with the city of Greensboro. The Landlord-Tenant dispute program and the human relations department at the city is our city partner. And in that program, we're basically conciliating or working on mediating. Mediating is probably not the best term for it, because really it's more kind of shuttle diplomacy between tenants and landlords in the city of Greensboro that are having issues with each other. So that could be a tenant who has an issue with not getting the security deposit back when they moved out. It could be a landlord who's having trouble getting the rent paid. As we know now with COVID, we've got a lot of potential evictions looming. So we got a couple of graduate students working on that. And that, in a way, we're very much involved in kind of community engaged practice research. So our research is oftentimes for the service of others, I think similar to the social work field. And so the other thing I might say is that people don't always, we're very much a discovery major. I don't think people come into UNCG oftentimes thinking, I want to do peace and conflict studies, but they discover it along the way and they realize, oh, wow, these are the skills that I can use in all sorts of settings, whether that's a Fortune 500 company, a nonprofit, a social work agency. So we really try to invite all of those students to get to know us and learn about those, and we collaborate with a lot of departments here in HHS. So I do a project at a local high school with my colleagues in kinesiology. I do work with folks in social work, public health education. We've got lots of collaborative. In fact, I'm on a Zoom call later tonight with a colleague who's in CTR. So, there's very much, you mentioned, Jennifer, bridge building. And I think, that in a way, I would call it collaboration. We're very much taking a collaborative approach to understanding the human experience of conflict.
That's awesome. Thanks, Dr. Winker. When you introduced that research project, I was like, how is he going to tie this back to peace and conflict studies? But that makes perfect sense on working with landlords and tenants, especially during this time. So it's cool that our undergraduate research can tie in different interests, but it always resorts back or has a tie-in with that major that you're interested in. Does any other faculty want to expand on any research that they're doing?
So one of the things that happens with research is we have students who are honors college students. And so if they're honors college students, they're expected to do some type of research project. And so we usually have one or two in social work. And right now I'm working with a student right now who is doing his internship at what's called the GC Stop program, which is a mobile needle exchange in relation to the opioid crisis. And I had him actually go through what's called the IRB process. It's the internal review board. And usually these are only doctoral students who go through this, but he was doing what's called a photo voice project. So he's working with clients in the GC Stop program. He was going to be able to give them a camera, and they were going to kind of document through photography their experiences of what they're going through. So it's called a photo voice project. So for him to do that, I wanted him to go through the IRB board. We have an internal review board to make sure that what he's doing is ethical and far as research. And one thing that really excited me is he's looking at graduate schools right now. And he was talking to a couple of graduate schools, and he was explaining his research and the fact that he went through the IRB board process. And the people he were talking to at grad schools were just kind of like blown away by that. It's like, oh, we only have doctoral students who do that kind of stuff. So I really enjoy working with undergraduate students because it seems like it's a daunting thing to have to go through like an IRB process. But if we work through them and kind of are patient and support them through that process, it really helps, especially our students who are looking at going to graduate and doctoral programs. So for him, he's able to take his honors college experience, create it into a research project, write a research paper about it. And if he wants to use it later on to try to get it published or something like that, he can do that. So.
That's awesome. I actually always tell my students that it's what makes UNCG unique is we offer undergraduate research, and completing that undergraduate research will prepare you for grad school, and it will be that wow factor that you just mentioned. Whether you're going to grad school or whether you're interviewing for a job, it's definitely going to set you apart from other candidates. Dr. Terranova, did you have something to add too?
I was going to take 30 seconds. We have about 13 laboratories in kinesiology. Most of the laboratories are what we consider bench research, like applied neuromechanics, ACL research, hormone research, XPhys research, heat, environmental stress. But we also do have some community-based research project effort, which comes out of our community youth sport development program. The BELT program, which is getting into the community to have obese people learn how to exercise and move, etc. So we kind of run a whole continuum and gamut of community and bench research across all of our little subdisciplines. So the website has all the laboratories listed, but if you ever want more information, I'd highly suggest you go there to see all our labs.
Right, and you can also check out the UNCG undergraduate magazine to see what we're doing campus-wide for our research projects. Savannah, I know that you're a student here as well at UNCG and you're studying nutrition. Can you talk to us a little more about clubs or associations or organizations that have a nutrition background?
Yes, I'm in the nutrition club, and COVID is kind of changing things around, but it's a great opportunity to get involved in. We're doing a lot of Zoom meetings. A lot of speakers are coming in. There's a lot of opportunities to even do volunteer work, and also doing like canned food drives. It's very diverse. There's also a food recovery network, which I'm also involved in. And due to COVID again, things have been kind of slow, but we're hoping, fingers crossed, in the spring we'll get back into it. But in the past, we have done recoveries, meaning that we've taken leftover food from the dining hall and just packaged it and sent it over to our local Salvation Army, and just help it with food insecurity. And so it's a great effort for nutrition students to get involved in and kind of see the community nutrition side of this profession, like the nutrition profession. Also, there's the Spartan Open Pantry, and I've known a lot of nutrition students who would try to get involved in that, and that's just to help with food insecurity with our students, like the Spartans, and also faculty members who are just experience maybe some hard times with food insecurity. And there's a lot of volunteering opportunities. They offer non-perishable foods for this population, and it's just a very good opportunity to get involved for nutrition students and again see a different side of the major. And yeah, there's a lot of chances to really expand your understanding of the major outside the classroom.
Awesome. Thanks, Savannah. Today, actually, for Spartan Open Pantry, we had donuts from Dunkin' Donuts that some of the proceeds, I believe, went to the Spartan Open Pantry. So we enjoyed donuts today in our office, and it went to a great cause. But some students are asking about, they're wanting to learn more about the learning environments here at UNCG. So Shauna or Jacqueline, can you tell us more about what your class sizes look like or what it's like working with faculty in your departments?
I can speak a little bit on that. So I actually was a transfer student but when I came to UNCG, I was taking some of those entry-level human development and family study courses. And so whenever you do those entry-level courses, they tend to be a little bit bigger in size. But as you move up in the courses, you start taking higher level courses. The class sizes do get smaller. I would not say that you need to be intimidated by a larger class size because the professors within the human development and family studies major are very easy to talk to. They really want to help students to grow and to learn, which is really great. I've had a really great experience even with the larger class size. And sometimes a larger class size can be beneficial because you can make connections with other people in your major who are going to move up with you, get names and phone numbers, and communicate with people to help you make sure that you are staying in the loop. But the professors are very easy to talk to. They're very helpful because we are human development and family studies. They love people. So they definitely are easy to talk to and work with. And I've really enjoyed my experience.
Thanks, Shauna. Jacqueline, do you want to add to that?
Yeah, so in the public health education program, you do have to apply, and then once you get accepted, you're within a cohort, and sometimes the cohort is between like 40 to 50 students. I don't know what it's like this year, so I can't answer that, but it is really nice to have your cohort with you, and you see them all the time and ask them questions. There's even group chats made, so like literally that's where everyone rants or like has any questions about assignments, so it's really nice. And a lot of the courses in public health education are set up to be like classroom discussions rather than solely like lectures, because I know for some lectures are boring or may not work for them, but then there's others who really like that classroom discussion and where they get to learn from one another, and that's how they learn new perspectives. So I think our faculty is very intentional about that, and they do a great job about like bringing real world examples and pushing us to think critically about how to create ethical, sustainable solutions to those problems among like classroom discussions. So faculty are also very accessible, very eager to talk to students. So I know we were talking about like research projects. I remember like having a passion to like work with the faculty, and eventually they became my faculty mentor because I like had the same interests as their research. And so I was able to do a little bit more research on type 2 diabetes, and that was great. And I presented my findings at the ERSCO Expo, which happens annually, I believe. So that was really fun. And even with the disciplinary honors, I got to do some like honors projects that aligns with like my research interests. But you'll always have the support from a faculty, staff, or professor in our department. So that's very nice.
Thanks, Jacqueline. Our next question, Sydney, can you talk to us a little more about community and therapeutic recreation? A couple of our students just want more information, so maybe speaking to jobs that you can get within the program or just your experience.
Sure. Well, the jobs really kind of run the gambit. So with, like I said earlier, with CTR, there are two different concentrations. You can either do CREP or TR. So it's either you're going to come out with community recreation and event planning, or with therapeutic recreation. And so just some of the job opportunities with the community recreation portion, you're looking at athletic directors. They can manage golf courses, park rangers. And then with your event planning, you've got folks that run major, like the person who runs the Greensboro Coliseum, he has a degree similar to this one. And then you have event managers and wedding planners. And then from the therapeutic rec department, you've got rehabilitation services. Almost any hospital or nursing home or memory care center, almost any of those folks have rec therapists on staff. And it is, that particularly also is a pretty growing field. I know that a lot of times rec therapy was considered like a precursor to kinesiology or occupational therapy or any of those things. They kind of, because they do relate. And traditionally, rec therapy has not been recognized by a lot of insurance companies, and it is starting to be a growing thing where you're going to see more and more where that is looked at on the exact same playing field as occupational or physical therapy. And so those are your major points that you're going to get out of, or at least careers that you'll get out of community and therapeutic recreation. Does that answer that question, or anything else you want to know?
Yeah, no, I think that was good. I personally love event planning, so I think it's cool that when you think of it so large scale, like the Greensboro Coliseum, this major can get you that position, which is really cool, especially knowing how large scale the Greensboro Coliseum is with the basketball games and concerts we have downtown. But the next question is going to be for Jessica. Jessica, can you, as an alum, share how UNCG prepared you for the speech, language, and pathology graduate program?
Yeah, of course. So I'm a little biased to the program here at UNCG, but it prepared me so well for graduate school. I applied to the UNCG graduate program and was accepted. One of the things that you need to become a speech language pathologist is you have to have certain courses within CSD, but then also outside of the discipline. So you need to have physics and biology and statistics. But they made sure that we had all that. And then they made sure that we had all of the classes that we need to be able to be certified after I finished my graduate program. And I will say that there are other programs that do not give you those courses. So I have peers who are having to take extra courses during their graduate program because their undergraduate program did not offer it. And then additionally, we also have a course that's fairly unique to UNCG, and it's a diagnostics course where you learn all about all the different assessments and what goes into really figuring out what's going on with your patients. And a lot of other schools do not have that. So I came to graduate school, I feel better prepared to. So your first day of graduate school, they like give you patients and you have to do therapy, not the first day, but like the second week. But I had a little bit more background knowledge on what that would look like because of that diagnostics course.
Information, Jessica. My roommate is actually in our speech, language, and pathology graduate program as well. So I always hear her talking about how great going to therapy is and all of the amazing things that she's learning in the program. Our next question is for Dr. Rhodes. Can you share with us what types of hands-on experiences our social work students are receiving?
Oh, wow. You get a lot of hands-on experience. So in our introduction to social work class, you do 25 hours of what's called service learning. So it's basically volunteer work, but service learning. So that's just the introduction to social work. And then you move on to our policy class your junior year. And in our policy class, you're expected to do 40 hours of service learning. This is all in preparation for your final year, where you'll be in an internship 2 days a week. It's 16 hours a week, both the fall and spring semester. And so for the academic year, your final year, you're going to be in an internship. And I think that totals around 440 hours. So by the time you graduate, you'll have over 500 hours of direct practice within the community, both with service learning and internship. So that's one of the reasons social work becomes a really popular degree for a lot of people, is they come in knowing that there's going to be a lot of community engagement. We're a community engaged degree. And as Dr. Rinker noted, we work with a lot of other departments. So you're going to be doing internships where you may be doing an internship with a public health student or a peace and conflict studies student. And so it's really very much a community-based degree, and you're going to have a lot of experience. So that's one of the reasons why we have you working on that resume, because by the time you're done, you're going to have a lot of experience on your resume for people.
That's great. Dr. Rose, thanks for sharing. I think it's great. Jennifer mentioned earlier that internships are built into a lot of the curriculum within the Health and Human Sciences department. I think that you spoke to that well. Doing 16 hours a week is a lot, but it's tied into that curriculum and just prepares students for their future careers. Jackie, what a time to be studying public health education. Can you share what you've been learning throughout this semester and what you're kind of prepared for?
Oh man, I think I would go over time if I went over everything we've been talking about. But one thing I will say is the thing about our program, like they really, I touched on this a little bit about like the critical thinking, but we do really value that because we're going to be facing a lot of problems. And I think COVID-19 has exposed a lot of these like flaws in our system. And so we're kind of like the change makers, and with a lot of us on this panel, like our disciplines, we're the change makers. And so in our program, we value that and we really put that into practice. We focus a lot of the problems using a social justice lens. And you know, like they're touchy conversations, but they're so needed and so important that our professors are really, they guide that conversation well and even introduce new perspectives that it just really changes your way of thinking. But that's all I really can say. It is a wonderful time to be a public health educator, I must say. So I'm excited to see, once I graduate, I'm excited to see where I'll be and what change that I can make.
That's great, Jacqueline. Thanks for sharing. And you truly are change makers. All of you on the panel today, we thank you for not only joining us, but also doing what you do within our community and within all of your careers. It's truly, you're genuinely change makers. And I just can't believe how fast this hour has gone by. We only have about 5 minutes left. So we have one final question that we're going to ask our panelists, and that is to describe something that you think is unique in the School of Health and Human Sciences.
I'll just jump in. I just think the ability to be able to work closely with faculty, we're very much a student-centered university, and I think the School of Health and Human Sciences kind of honors that. So just the ability to work directly with faculty, and the fact that all of us, I think, are pretty much doing community-based work. So just because I'm an academic, that doesn't mean I'm not doing social work now. I'm still doing a lot of community-based work. Like I said, Dr. Rink and I are always doing restorative justice work in the community. And so we're collaborating with other people. So I think being really student-centered and working closely with students is what's unique about HHS.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'll follow up by saying collaboration. I mean, you've heard that a couple of times, right? And I've got the picture of our office behind me. Find your peace here, right? We all have our find our way here, find our whatever here. Our department chose find our peace here. So that's what that sign over my shoulder is. And it's, yeah, just that idea of collaborating with others and working across departments and across disciplines and across student and faculty relationships.
And I will say one great thing about the makes HHS, faculty and the staff and the students were really engaged. By trade, I'm an athletic trainer. I'm still practicing athletic trainer. Even though I'm a professor, I'm still teaching. I'm still out there covering basketball, volleyball, I'll cover football games. So a lot of our faculty are still engaged in their profession, still engaged in what they do. They're not just sitting behind a desk, regurgitating the same exam 30 years. They're still out there changing their pedagogy, reinventing themselves, reinventing their curriculum. So it's a very engaged, vibrant faculty in a very ever-changing curriculum. So I think that's really unique to what we do.
I think you can definitely tell that from the panel today, that you're vibrant and engaged and you all love what you do. We have time for one more, something unique about School of Health and Human Sciences. So Jennifer, do you want to go ahead and wrap that up?
Yeah, I think, you know, who you see on the panel here is just a small snippet of the diverseness that we have just within the School of HHS. To reiterate, you know, we're, I'll just be biased. We're popular for freshmen. We're popular for transfers. We're popular for students that want to do an online degree, that want to be part-time or full-time or engaged in community service work or research work or faculty mentorship. Many of our faculty and staff are taking courses, are as many here mentioned, are engaging in what they preach. We practice what we preach, and we want students to be aware of the many different perspectives that we have to represent the diverseness and the opportunities where we can collaborate. You know, again, I know I'm kind of hitting a dead horse and I'm repeating what everybody said, but that's who we are as HHS. And we're all a team. We're all a family. Many of us are parents. Many of us are caring for our own parents. And so we meet each other where we are. We support each other where we are. And we help educate each other so that we can all identify or reevaluate or just continue to have our own personal and professional goals affirmed through the work that we do. And if we can't get those goals met, we get creative, we get flexibility, and we get that support from our upper level administratives and our Uncg leadership to look for opportunities to find your way, to find your piece, and to find your fit at Uncg. So we're really proud of that. We're honored to be members, not only of HHS, but Uncg at large. And we're really excited that many students, parents, et cetera, are exploring Uncg for who we are and what we stand for.
Thanks, Jennifer. And we do hope that you all, as viewers, find your way here at Uncg. I want to thank all of our knowledgeable and helpful panelists who were able to join us today. I know that I learned a lot, so I know our viewers did as well. I want to remind all of our viewers that we're going to be returning tomorrow night with another live stream featuring housing and residence life, as well as dining services at 4 o'clock. So be sure to join us then. But thank you so much for joining us this evening, and we'll see you again soon. Bye, everyone.